Hello, welcome back to SCI Teach. This is a public speaking class. So, we'll be talking about one of the most feared things for many people. Now, listen. Have you ever been in front of people? Maybe you are asked to speak, you are asked to give an opening address, or you're asked to do anything, and you suddenly feel like shaking, you can't do it, and you see yourself saying, I feel like entering the ground. Some people go as far as saying, I feel like fainting. I felt like dying. What does that mean? The fear of public speaking is higher in so many people than the fear of death itself. It's that bad. So something as bad as that is worthy of note. So we're going to try and eliminate the anxiety, eliminate the fears, and build basic techniques that can help you deliver public speeches. We're not going to perform magic so that you think that once you listen to this lesson that you suddenly become a pro in front of people. But we're going to give you what it takes. And if you listen and follow those practices, you'll be able to deliver public speeches. Okay? Now, I'd like to add this. There are so many people who have a lot to offer to the world, but have shut that up because of fear of public speaking. Think of the many times you've ignored standing in front of people to speak. Think of the many ideas that people like you have just buried in them because they are afraid to stand in front of people, to teach, to speak, to deliver a speech. That means there are so many good ideas that cannot be heard just because the speaker is afraid, shy, not ready to face his fears or her fears. And so we have problems more than solutions. Not because there are no solutions, but because some people decided to keep quiet because of something that is just a feeling and really does not exist. Think about that. Some people, maybe students, should have asked a question in class, but they did not. And so they didn't understand that concept very well because they were afraid to speak up. Some people are maltreated. Some people are abused because they are afraid to speak up. So it is important to be able to identify the reasons why such people, why anybody would be afraid to speak in public. I'm sure you know some of them because a person who is afraid to speak in public already knows why. That's a good part. So some people, it could be they are afraid that they will make mistakes. They don't have self-confidence. They think people will laugh at them when they speak because they feel what they're going to say is not right, may have some mistakes. Well, let me tell you, even when what you're saying is right and you have a lot of confidence, there are people that will still laugh at you. So being a pro in speaking doesn't mean there are people or that everyone will just accept what you're saying. So get that. That fear only exists because you allow it to exist. Some other people are afraid to speak in public, especially when the public is of a higher class than the person speaking. So he feels, I'm speaking to people of a higher class than me, or than I am, they're not going to listen. Well, that can happen. But if you go ahead and have something reasonable to say, you will see everyone quiet, listening to you. So, in these lessons, we're going to try and help you understand why you should speak, how you should start your speeches, and where to start. Now, understand these important basics. In public speaking, you must not try to be like someone else. You will just be trying and failing on till you discover you can't be that person. Let's say you like the way someone speaks, and you want to be like him, you want to talk like him, you want to, demonstrate like him, you want to just do everything like him. You would end up copying a person's style. Uniqueness is very important in public speaking. This is what I mean. You can learn the basic skills from different speakers, but maintain your unique style. Learn the different skills and techniques and basics from different speakers, but maintain your style. I don't know if you know the economist Jim Rohn. That's my favorite, public speaker. Now, if you listen to him speak, you would want to speak in public. You will wish you could speak in public. Now, though I love him very well, I learn a lot from him. If you listen to him, you will discover I don't speak like him. I learned the basics from him. I learned the techniques, the skills from him. But I don't speak like him. I maintain my own styles. So uniqueness is very important. If not, you're just like any other person. So why bother hire somebody when we can hire another person that is just the same? It's only uniqueness, what differentiates you from the other person, that makes you picked and the other is not picked, or that other person picked and you are not picked. So maintain your style even when you can learn the skills from other public speakers. I also have another public speaker which maybe my style may match with him, but not the same. But I learned calmness in speaking from him. I learned to be natural when speaking from him. So I don't pretend that I don't breathe when I talk. I don't pretend that I don't make mistakes. I don't pretend that I may miss something. You become very natural. You are speaking and you feel like coughing, you cough. But like a modest person. You are speaking and you breathe, you don't hide it. You just become very natural that people like you because of that. And then you become very calm in such a way that you are not under pressure to impress people. His name is Zach Ponen, the Indian pastor. So I've learned from different speakers, but I've maintained my style. I've learned how to be calm and how to be natural from Zach Ponen. I've learned how to be creative in speaking, how to unite a story with your topic, how to make people listen to you even when they don't actually feel like So they almost don't have a choice, because they see something that you speak about, which if another person speaks would be boring, but you speak about it and everybody wants to listen. That is where I want to take you to. That is what I want you to aim at. Learning the basics from me right now, because I want to teach you basic skills, and learning the basics from your role model public speakers, how they speak, what they do, but don't copy their style. Maintain your unique style. All right? Let's go. Now, there are 4 main types of speech deliveries. 4 main types. We're going to look at them one by one. Maybe not all today. First one is extemporaneous speeches. Extemporaneous speeches. The second one is impromptu speeches. Impromptu. The third one is manuscript speeches. Manuscript speeches. And the fourth one is memorized speeches. Okay? Speeches committed to the memory. Now, before I go into details, I want to take you through something. There are some aspects that must be considered when constructing or presenting both the prepared and impromptu speeches. So, what makes a great speech? You have number 1, manner. You can write this down. Manner. Manner takes 20% of a speech. Then the second one is matter. Matter takes 40% of a good speech. And then we have method. Method takes 40%. So that's 100%. Manner, matter, method. Take note of that. I'll explain. Now, manner refers to the presentation of the speech, how you present it. So the key to a good manner is to be natural. Okay? All acting, singing, dancing, and copying anybody, they are not allowed in manner. Be natural. This is your style. Everybody knows it for that. Don't try to be someone else. Be natural. What are the parts of manner? Eye contact. Speaker should look at the whole audience by focusing on audience members. Look them in their eyes. Look in different areas of the room, but not for too long, for short periods. So you don't stare at one person too much. You look at every single corner of the audience you are speaking to. Spread your eyes around, but not like someone who's looking for something. Because your eye must fall on every single person. You must have an eye contact with all of them. Palm cards should always be used, but as little as possible. Okay? You write very little points on them. Okay? Now, speakers are also encouraged to use don't use pieces of papers. Use palm cards. Don't know what a palm card is? Check online, you will see what a palm card is. And write just nuggets, points. Don't write the whole point. And speakers should not read their speeches. Do not, you see what a president or, the politicians do, they read the speeches. Like maybe a graduating class, they read their speeches. But a public speaker should not read their speeches. They should deliver them. You deliver a speech, you don't read your speech. What is the difference? If you are reading a speech, your head is down on the paper and you're just reading everything word to word. No eye contact. No explanation. No sense of humor. Nothing connecting what the paper is saying with what you mean. But if you are delivering a speech, people feel you are speaking, not the paper speaking. People believe you are the one speaking. They don't believe you are reading someone else's work. Or they don't believe you are reading something you wrote. They know you wrote that because they believe you are the one speaking. Because you're speaking directly to them. You're looking at them. You're convincing them. You're changing their minds. You deliver the speech. So eye contact is a part of manner. Another part of manner is stance. A speaker should be comfortable, but should not do anything that distracts from what the speaker is saying. Be comfortable. You want to play around words? Fine. You want to make some gestures? Fine. Feel comfortable. But do not do anything that will distract you, the speaker. What I'm trying to say is, take for instance, you are speaking and then a phone rings. Or you receive a text message and you see something that can change your mood and you've read it and then you come back to your speech. You're off. So put that phone away. Put everything that will distract you and focus and be comfortable. So stance is also a part of manner. Also voice. A speaker should modulate his or her tone, modulate your expression, your volume. In fact, when you speak loudly, you are inviting noise. Have you ever observed that? Someone who is shouting when teaching or when delivering a speech, the audience start making noise. Why? Because if they say one or two words, they won't hear themselves very well. So they have to shout a little bit. The audience. But if you suddenly become quiet, the speaker, that speaker that was shouting, you discover the whole crowd discovers how noisy they were and keep quiet. But somebody who speaks with a normal volume, not too high, not too low, maybe just like me, someone is able to listen and then understand that if I make noise, I won't listen well. I will distract another person because the person is not shouting to cover up for the noise making in the hall or wherever. So what I'm saying is, modulate your tone. Modulate your expression. Don't do it too much. Don't do it too less. Modulate your volume. Don't be too high. Don't be too low. Modulate your speed. Don't be too fast. And don't be too slow. Okay? All these things can make you appear unnatural. If you try to shout, your real voice doesn't come out. So you're not natural anymore. If you want to express too much, you're not yourself anymore. If you want to use someone else's tone, you're not yourself anymore. So all these things, expressions, tone, volume, speed, if you do it excessively or you don't modulate them, you would appear unnatural. Okay? So the last part of manner is gesture. Gestures should be natural. Don't plan your gestures. Don't plan your gestures. Let it come naturally. As you're speaking, by the way, gestures are, moving a part of your body, maybe the hand or your head, to try and express an idea. So what I'm saying is, don't pre-plan it. Or when I speak up to this place, this is how I'm going to nod my head. This is how I'm going to wave my hand. Don't. The feel of your speech can change that. And if you only relied on that planned gesture, it may be received wrongly. Let it come naturally. Don't plan. So that's manner, which takes just 20%, or just, but 20% of the mark. Matter. That's the second one. Matter takes 40% of the mark. But what is matter? Matter refers to the content in the speech. Speeches should be as original as possible. So each speech should have a key argument, a point of view, your own point of view. Speeches must be of a persuasive nature. It should make people want to change their minds. It should make people want to change the idea they had before to yours. It should be persuasive, not simply giving information about something. If you simply give information, people might or might not take it. But if your speech is persuasive, people try to change their minds. People say, that's true. People want to start practicing what you just said. Okay? So, what are the parts of matter? Topic selection. A speaker should choose a topic that they feel very strongly about, so that they can speak with sincerity. Don't choose a topic that is a lie. At least a lie to yourself. You don't believe in that topic, but you choose that topic. You're not going to speak with sincerity. You're not going to give your best in speaking. Nobody's going to feel it when you speak, because you don't even believe it. So do not choose a topic that you don't feel strongly about. Choose topics that will be of interest to the audience. Choose topics that will be of interest to the audience. If you choose a topic that is just of interest to you, the people listening don't have interest in that, you end up convincing yourself and not the listeners. So pick a topic that is of interest to the audience. So what I'm saying is, you choose a topic, of course, that's of interest to others. Let's say the topic is about family and whatever. Then you go ahead and relate it to the audience you're speaking to, the audience you want to speak to. You relate that topic to them, analyze it. What are the parts of that speech that will satisfy the audience? And then, what is my point of view? You're just following what others are saying. What is your own point of view to that topic or concerning that topic? Okay, that's topic selection. Then message. Each speech must have an overall persuasive argument. So a speaker should incorporate their own point of view so that their speech does not become an information report. The speaker should make his or her opinions clear, and they should leave the audience with something to think about. Let the audience, when they leave that day, think about that speech over and over again. Can this be true? I think that's true. And you see their minds already start changing, because they believe what they just heard is very persuasive. So, topic selection, and then the message. Then arguments. Speakers should report their opinions with several reasons and ideas. Don't just present your opinion. Let's know your reasons. Let's know the ideas you have that backs up that opinion. Persuasive points that the speaker makes should be logical, not just random points. Let it be logical. So you explain it well explained points. So persuasive points should be logical and well explained. How can it be logical? Support and prove your arguments with ideas, examples. Okay? Create examples to make others see why you think that idea is the real idea. Okay? And then finally, language. A speaker should understand, should be familiar with, should be able to correctly pronounce the language in which he wants to deliver his speech with. Okay? So a good speech should avoid slangs. Don't use slangs. Don't use informal languages. Don't use interjections like yuck, damn. Don't use incorrect grammatical structure, except you're making a joke. Don't use incorrect pronunciation. Learn to pronounce those words correctly. Don't mumble. Don't mumble. So that's how your language should be. And all this topic selection, message, arguments, and language are in matter, under matter, which takes 40% of the mark. So 60% ready. And the last 40% is method. Method refers to how the speech is organized. How do you organize your speech? This includes, number 1, the beginning. Number 2, the middle, that's the arguments and the examples. And then number 3, the conclusion. Now, the beginning. There are 3 ways in which we can begin a speech. It can be 1, a story, 2, a statement, or 3, a question. So you can begin as a story, but the story must be relevant to the speech as a whole. You can also begin with a statement, but it should be an interesting and thought-provoking statement. Then you can also begin with a question, but this question must be answered at some point in your speech. So a speaker should never start a speech by introducing themselves. My name is SCI Teach, and I'm here to talk on the topic or speak on the topic, and you go on. Don't start by introducing yourself. Don't even start by introducing the topic. Start by either telling a story. That's how a speech can become interesting. You tell a story, you get people's attention, and they listen to that story and try to relate the story with what you want to say. So you catch their attention, and then they are ready to listen to you because you've created something that asks a question in them. Or you can start with a statement, interesting statement. Do you know that 20% of the people listening to me right now are human beings? Oh, and they discover that it's true. But that statement I made should be relating or should relate to the speech I want to deliver. Maybe I want to deliver a speech on listening skills or whatever. And also you can start with a question. But remember, this question must be answered at some point in the speech. Okay, so that's the beginning. Now the middle, developmental argument and example stage. The way the speech is delivered or developed will depend on the speaker's purpose and the speaker's personality. Now this part of the speech should be linked to the introduction in a very logical and interesting way. It should also contain ideas and examples that support the topic, the purpose of the speech, and they should be linked to each other. So this is the part where the speaker gets key messages, arguments across to the audience. Now, it's important to know that planning this section carefully is very important so that the speech sounds convincing and spontaneous. Right? So, a good speech middle development will avoid using lists. Don't list them out. Don't repeat ideas. Don't use repeated ideas. And you should avoid unrelated information. Don't go and digress and put in something that is not at all related to the topic. You can break the link between the people that were listening, and then the attentions are divided. Now, there are several ways a speaker can construct their speech. One is called YO. That's yourself, others. YO. Yourself, others. The second one is SCG. SCG. Self, community, global. Self, community, global. Then the third one is PPF. Past, present, future. The next one is PIN. Positive, interesting, negative. And then we have WWWWH. Of course, you know what that means. What, when, where, who, why, and how. So these are the several ways you can structure your speech. So we've talked about the beginning, we've talked about the middle development. Now the conclusion. Now the conclusion is the climax of the speech. The conclusion should be explicit, should be concise, should be linked in style and context to the introduction. The conclusion should be linked to the introduction, linked in style, linked in the context. The conclusion should sum up the speech's subject and purpose. Now, for the conclusion, a speaker should again make the points of their speech clear. It's an opportunity for you to summarize. Make all the points you have made in the middle developmental stage. Make the points clear, concise, explicit. Okay? The 3 ways to end the speech are the same as the 3 ways to begin the speech. That's story, statement, or question. So we've discussed what makes a great speech. Manner, which takes 20%, matter, which takes 40%, and method, which takes another 40%.